time to fix a very dreadful mistake.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Suddenly you kissed my wife. Baby, my heart's on fire.
Can one possibly improve on the Studio Series? Well, yes. We reviewed Studio Series Shockwave earlier, and in some ways we gave it a right panning, and deservedly so. My legitimate gripe was that a number of its parts were needlessly made of wimpy, weak rubber, and I said at the time I hoped some third-party developers would fix that nonsense. Turns out they did. Thanks to the good people at TFSafari.com, this website is a trove of 3D printed augmentation from various sources, which have endeavored to rectify Hasbro's many failures with their engineering. They develop replacement part kits, and also filler kits that fill in the hollow limbs you find on many of the contemporary Transformers figures. In this case, I procured 2 items for Studio Series Shockwave to replace some of the rubber parts which have displeased me. I would review the packaging, but these items were shipped in simple brown cardboard boxes, both of which fit into a medium-sized padded envelope, so they arrived quite safely. For some reason, the people at TFSafari even threw in some kind of mini Halo-style Space Marine figure. More on that later. Opening the boxes, we see the replacement parts kept in simple Ziploc baggies. No instructions or other materials are included, you just have to puzzle it all out on your own. But fortunately, it's not that big a puzzle. Starting with the little dinky Space Marine, I have no idea what show or genre this might be from. It's about 1.5 inches tall with a Doomslayer-style helmet, futuristic body armor, and it even comes with a tiny little weapon accessory that will clip into either hand. The plastic on the hands is brittle, however, so don't force the hands too much or they could snap. The colors are mostly gray and silver, with the weapon and hands done in black. Some gold paint on the visor. It's even articulated. With the head on a ball socket, it will spin 360 degrees and tilt up and down fairly well. Each shoulder is ball socketed and will rotate fully, and splay in and out slightly. Each elbow is hinged and it will tilt up and down about 90 degrees. The waist will rotate 360 degrees as well. The hips are ball socketed and will rotate fully forwards and backwards. Each knee is hinged and will bend backwards about 30 degrees. Even the hands will swivel in their sockets just a little bit, so not too shabby given the minuscule proportions. I certainly won't look a gift horse in the foot. And this little minifigure should actually proportion fairly well against many contemporary Transformers figures. They may actually fit inside some of them as a driver. Thanks a lot, TFSafari. First, the simplest and the easiest, a sword weapon accessory meant to replace the useless rubber plastic glove that Hasbro bundled with the figure itself. Unlike the one that came with the figure, this one is made of hard plastic. It's 3D printed, well painted and well detailed with Cybertronian glyphs up and down the sides, which read, "One ring to rule them all," I think. The back half is very dark gray, while the front is more of a silvery gray. It doesn't have the grunge paint like the original version does, but I mean, just look at them, see the difference. Hollow, flimsy, limp rubber junk. I would say that the replacement weapon is worth the price just so that you can throw this one on the dung heap. It plugs into any of the open ports on Studio Series Shockwave, or any other figure that has an open 5mm port. Transformers Safari did well by making this replacement, though I admit it wouldn't take much effort or skill to replace the trash Hasbro foisted on us with the actual figure. Now onto the gun arm replacement kits, which is slightly more involved. It comes with these bagged pieces as well as 4 LR41 button cell battery replacements. You only need 2 to run the LED light, but they gave you 4, which was nice of them, though I'm sure they factored it into the price of the kit. Take the LED light mechanism, take 2 of the batteries, the raised parts of the batteries face towards the light bulb. Once you have squeezed 2 of them in place, you can use this switch near the base of the mechanism to activate the light. shiny. Take the part of the cannon that has the spiky parts up near the front. The LED mechanism slides into the cannon portion into the part where this groove is notched. Make sure that the LED light switch is facing up. Once in place, you can toggle the switch to turn the light on and off so that it shines menacingly through the spiky open end of the cannon. Once the LED portion is assembled, take the housing section. You will need to take the Shockwave figure itself and unscrew the arm. Crow! There is one screw mounted here in the elbow and one inside the gun itself. Unfortunately, that's not the only thing that you have to do. Normally, you should be able to prise these two apart, but they have a glued peg right here near the base of the cannon. If you look underneath the gun cannon into this ridged portion, you will see this kind of crossbar that goes across it. It's actually a peg and hole combination that they glued together so that you can't pry the cannon apart. You will need to take an X-Acto knife or some other implement with a very long, thin blade. With the cannon facing you, insert the blade into the portion where the peg and the hole have been glued together. Then you will just have to kind of saw the blade back and forth for a while, applying constant and even pressure. In a few minutes, you'll be able to cut through the peg, and then both halves of the arm can be safely pulled apart. Once the arm halves have been separated, it's an easy matter to remove the rubber portion of the cannon. Take the end of the housing section that has these two tabs sticking out of the back. There is a hole mounted near the front. It slides onto this plastic groove. Then take the separated halves of the gun arm and screw them back together. Crow! The housing section has three little protrusions that correspond to three grooves on the LED section. Insert, rotate, and they will lock in place. But the LED glows a lovely urine yellow and is fairly bright. It's good that you don't have to take the whole arm apart again to replace the batteries. Kudos on that engineering. Since these replacement parts are 3D printed, I am not sure how they'll hold up under rough handling. For over $30, you can bet your patookus I'll be handling them gingerly. I like the way that these turned out and kind of wish that they had made replacement kits for the weak rubber spikes on the shins and for the hand as well. You may want to save up for these kits so that your Shockwave figure won't stink up the joint anymore. And I'll be sending these rubber parts to Tartarus where they belong. Boo! But I hereby declare that the TFSafari replacement kits for Studio Series Shockwave are death-tested, death-approved.
If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. Then you'll be left alone, oh baby. Tell them all and tell me I'm your own.